Hello, this is Clone Wars Weekly. I am your host, Ronan, with
Echo!
We've
my
only
two
done
co-hosts.
this like a bajillion times. If they don't know who we are by now, just turn the video off.
This is for the new people.
Oh, then don't
The
turn it
new
off. Wait,
people.
no, don't leave. I see what you're trying to do. You're gonna hit that escape button. Don't
Well,
do it.
that escape button has a password.
Yes, do not hit that or...
It's
not
called
Echo.
Fuck you.
And today we are going to be talking about something very interesting in a much different sort of format than we're used to, but
Never good when he says that.
we're going to be doing this short. I've been noticing a lot of stuff on Facebook of late about all these different matchups with characters
Oh.
and, you know, like the March Madness type stuff. With
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen
yeah,
tons of it. It's pissing me the fuck off.
that is driving me nuts
Right.
as well.
That's what we're doing. We're doing this to get our points out there vocally. So you have to hear it.
It's not March.
Exactly, and
Belated.
the first thing, like in this one group of late, there's been a large topic post about Malgus versus Anakin Skywalker.
Oh yeah, I think we were even commenting on this one quite a bit.
Oh yes,
I love the one guy. We won't mention names. The one guy was like, Anakin Skywalker is a demigod. Celestial being.
We'll be cranking them up to celestial
Now,
powers.
you see, the first problem with that is that's kind of bullshit. Anakin's just some whiny asshole. No offense.
No offense to Anakin fans.
But he's just a dude. He's not this godlike being of immense power that people seem
with an
to
awesome
think he is.
beard.
I mean, I understand there's like prophecy and stuff behind them, but none of that stuff was ever like intended to be literally taken seriously with this huge legend status or something.
No, but if you were like actually pitting them against each other in terms of like combat and power, I don't know. See, I'm not just saying Malgus because, you know, I've been dying obsession with him. But
well, yes. Spoiler alert, Malgus.
It's because he would enthrall
Actually win.
Anakin.
Mhm.
There's no way Anakin... See, the way that Anakin fights, the way he fights, it's reckless, usually he just runs straight in, doesn't even
I'll
anticipate...
take him now!
He doesn't even anticipate what his opponent's going to... He just goes running in there, guns a blazing, attacking the guy. Whereas Malgus, as we've seen, he exploits, essentially, that in his opponents.
For argument's sake, we're going to be going with Anakin from the Revenge of the Sith scene when he becomes Darth Vader and he's fighting Anakin.
Wait, Anakin's fighting
Nope.
Anakin?
I'm sorry.
What the fuck are you...
When Anakin's fighting Obi-Wan on Mustafar. And
You
he's
could
all
say that. Or you could look at any of his fights. Still gonna one with him and Dooku.
Right, that's supposed to be like the epitome of his power that everyone will use because he's finally gotten like dark side. He's not been restrained by his suit, so we'll be using that.
We won't even mention him in the suit standing a chance against Malgus. I mean, it's like a wooden dude trying to fight a being of unlimited power.
Yes, he was.
Sure, like, it's classic film.
And he's crafty because he like took out a couple of Jedi on the run and stuff, but still.
But it comes down to the fact that Malgus, he's just a brute. He's like a tank, and people seem to think that just because he's big in like stature and physical form that he's slow.
No, he's not slow.
Someone posted the Bane and Batman fight. That was like a perfect representation of how it would probably play out.
Oh yes.
Anakin would be like, Anakin would be like trying to like wail on him a few times, and Malgus was like,
He's like, oh, you think darkness is your ally?
I'm about to
Really,
fuck you
darkness
now,
is
you
not.
stupid little man. And he would kick the fucking shit out. Like, it's just, you can't compare. I don't even know how those two got matched up in the first place.
Admittedly, Malgus has some like gaps in his form.
Well, definitely. He's suffered defeats, but he's never lost any legs or arms
Right.
in his defeats.
he's also incredibly resilient. He gets buried under a mountain of rubble.
And
He
still
also
manages
never
to
had
fight.
anyone underestimate his power.
You see, even after he crawled out from that rubble that he was buried under, he managed to fend off 2 Jedi Padawans who attempted to capture him or some bullshit. And this was in like the comic. No, the novel, I think, wasn't it? The sequel.
I think it was the novel.
And he took both of them on and
So he's like Echo?
No.
Echo never was under any rubble.
Echo was under ship rubble.
But we've gone on about Malgus long enough. The point being with him,
Point to Malgus.
He combines speed, power, and really aggressive fighting styles.
Wait, let's look over Anakin's.
No, let's not.
Okay.
We've
Try
dwelled
to
on this
give him
enough.
some points.
In comparison, Anakin's has the recklessness and speed, but none of the power and ferocity.
Because it's like you have Anakin and Malgus. Malgus is like the amplified, souped-up, huge version of Anakin. He's one-upped Anakin on every scale in terms of being a brute. Pace, quickness. It's just his endurance. He can outlive Anakin in combat, and that will ultimately be what puts him ahead of Anakin. And the fact I won't even mention the fact that Malgus is like also an incredibly talented Force user and can just like fucking lightning him too.
Because I was going to just say that real fast because like you don't see Anakin usually chaining together like Force moves with his lightsaber combat.
He can't even defend himself against Force lightning. He's never learned.
That's true.
Throughout the entire span, that still gets him. It's always
and that's what kills him in the end. Now that I think about it.
See, you just can't. Who's the next one? You know.
All right, we're gonna move on now. Yes.
Who's the next?
Another one that I really, really wanted to talk about was the Emperor's Groove. I mean,
the Emperor's.
Yeah, the Emperors. The 2 ones that people most remember or
I
don't
love that
remember.
movie.
I saw that movie. Ronan still hasn't seen that movie though.
I haven't seen the movie.
Darn you, Ronan.
I like.
And watch SpongeBob.
I like the old woman. The old woman in that movie. Yeah, she turns into a cat.
Anyway, the 2 Emperors, Palpatine, a.k.a. Darth Sidious, the mastermind of the Clone Wars and ultimate evil of the movies, versus Lord Vitiate.
Ultimate evil of everything.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I think
there's
people are gonna think we're totally biased against like the movies and the show. I can't help it if they're just comparing things that shouldn't be compared because
you brought this on yourselves.
Exactly.
Okay, well,
this was gonna be a quick one, I think.
All right. Well, first of all, okay, you have Sidious. He killed his own father and stuff at what 20, and he was. But his father was no Force user.
You're judging it based off of how early on they killed their families?
Well, Vitiate did it at 6 years old, and then
I thought it was 6 years old.
Well, then his actual father, a Darth, showed up, and then he killed him and fed off of his fear and drove him insane and stripped him of the Force.
Yeah.
At 10 years old.
Vitiate's pretty fucked up.
He's like scary. He's supposed to be an allegorical type villain, one that is pure evil with no redeeming qualities whatsoever.
You know, you could try to redeem him with the Jedi Knight storyline, and he just like trolls you. He just laughs and he drops like a fucking boulder on his own head and just keeps laughing.
Uh-huh.
What a fucking creep.
And the best part is that he can't die. He's essentially immortal. He goes into multiple different voices, essentially. Now, this sort of plot had also been thought up with Sidious in regards to his clone.
Now, see, but it's different because Vitiate still retains his actual mind when he inhabits these new bodies, where with Palpatine, it was like a clone, right?
Right, with Palpatine, yes, it's sort of, he transferred his essence, as it was called, so it's a similar concept. Difference being his clones, like, deteriorated really fast, and that was sort of how it worked.
It's just not as cool, to be honest.
And keep in mind that this stuff is all non-canon now, with the Dark
there
Empire.
You go. So how do you know if that's even...
Now,
viable
Dark
fact.
Empire was really the only like series where people look to for Palpatine's level of power because he uses like these force storms, which of course
Kyber
hilariously,
crystal thing.
that's complete bull.
That is complete bull. The Kyber crystal is what Crapstain used to pedophile children across the galaxy.
The Caliber crystal, on the other hand, was like this one thing that couldn't ever leave a temple, and Palps was trying to get it for his own powers, but it couldn't like leave the area or deteriorate into no power at all. Then there was this other thing which some bozo claimed gave Palpatine ultimate power, and
Unlimited power!
What he said.
anyway. Now, another thing people refer to as that Sidious has like more lightsaber skill with.
Now let me just stop you right there. Sidious is an old fart. Now, you see, Vitiate is essentially ageless as he can inhabit any physical form he so desires, thus already placing him at a physical advantage over Palpatine.
Not to mention, at the time of the Old Republic era, he's already really old.
He is.
So-
He's like a couple of thousand years old.
His life spans millennia, as he said. So, really, he could have learned any lightsaber form he ever wanted in that amount of time.
I mean,
I am huge incarnate.
all the time, all those years he spent training and honing his skills, you'd think he would be able to defend himself against an old wrinkled man in the bathrobe.
And another thing, just
Think.
for the final wrinkle, he
Final
destroyed.
wrinkle.
He destroyed.
Final. There's multiple, Ronan.
He destroyed an entire planet with Sith sorcery to become immortal.
That's what you call douche.
Yeah, pretty much.
He didn't need a Death Star. He did like some nihilist shit and just engulfed the planet in Sith sorcery and voodooism.
If you count the non-canon Dark Empire stuff, it's closer than I would think, but Vitiate still wins.
And this is not us being biased. This is us genuinely giving an
See, sir,
opinion.
if you say we're not being biased, aren't they still gonna say that in the comments?
They're gonna say it regardless, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna say that.
No,
anyway.
but see, the reason people vote for Palpatine and Anakin is because they
It's
know
because you
them.
know about them.
Exactly. It's because you know who they are. It's the fact that people don't know who Vitiate, Malgus, those types of
Right.
characters are. That's why they're like, who are those fucking dumbasses?
With Vitiate, you don't even really know his name much. He's just mostly referred to as the Sith Emperor.
The
So that's probably why people don't like give a crap about him. But I think that's really what makes him so fascinating. He's such a mystical type.
Doesn't
in
he
the
just want to
background.
destroy the world so we can
No.
watch it start
He
over?
wants to destroy the universe, watch it start over, so he can form it in a way
Yeah.
he wants, and he will
He wants
decide.
to kill.
Yeah.
He wants to kill every sentient being in the universe,
Badass.
not just like gain
And no,
control of an
and then-
empire.
And then he said he wanted to try out different. What was it? He wanted to be everything. A farmer.
Yeah, a simple man.
He wanted to be everything that he ever could be.
How is that not a redeeming quality?
It was some weird shit.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck?
They really put a lot of effort into making him a unique kind of ultimate evil villain. And
Another villain wants to be a farmer.
exactly.
There you go. Okay,
All right,
who's
we're
next?
going to move on maybe once more. We'll see how it goes.
We should do it now.
You got. I think you know which one we should do.
Okay, well, there was one more, and I think like a EU Fans Unite group, as I'm recalling.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah,
we got to do this one.
Darth Malak versus Starkiller.
Now this I'm already calling bullshit.
Okay,
How do
well,
people come up with these pairings? What do the two characters have in common that they need to be pitted against each other?
yeah, for starters,
No, see, Malak and Vader I could understand.
they're much
Yeah.
more similar type characters.
But you get Starkiller and Malak. It's just what?
Well, as far as Starkiller goes, how do you even include him in any sort of versus segment?
He's not even canon anymore.
Well, there's that.
Well, look,
There's
you got
that.
Rebels. You got no Starkiller.
Exactly. Wasn't Starkiller like the founder of the Rebel Alliance or something?
I don't know. We
I
need to
played
wait
the
till the
game.
show
No,
comes out.
Starkiller was the instigator, but
I
it was
played the
like
game a while ago.
now. I assume we're not mentioning. We're not talking about the clone one. We're talking about like the original one. Yeah. Well, then there's no
Forget the clone
competition.
one.
Malak would rape him.
Yeah, we try and
See-
forget about the clone one.
Okay, well let me lay it down for you as it is.
Okay.
Malak would fuck him.
Yeah,
He would
well,
make him nothing.
I feel really bad about having like all these old Republic era characters just
Shit, that is true.
crushing them.
But okay, but see, with Starkiller,
Let's review, shall
you
we?
have to understand that a lot of his powers you see in the game are very overemphasized what they are actually.
They're exaggerated for the context of the game, which was supposed to just make you feel like the ultimate boss.
He's ripping Star Destroyers out of the sky, that fucking bastard, man.
If
Jeez.
Anakin can't even do that, and he's the chosen one.
How does Anakin teach him that stuff, but can't do
Yeah,
that
that's what I was wondering.
himself?
See, you know what I hated most about those games is they took iconic Star Wars characters, like you had Boba Fett and Vader, and they turned them into complete, total wuss bags. I hated that.
Just throw them around with
You
your.
throw them, like even in all the commercials. There was one where it was like Vader getting his ass thrown through like 3 walls.
Through a bunch of walls,
It
yeah.
was like, okay, I guess if you want to completely deteriorate any respect people had for Vader, this is the perfect way to do it.
You can add him saying no at the end of the scenes.
I think he says that in the dark side ending for the first.
Oh, I think you're right.
He dies in the dark side ending for the. Now I think about it. See, it's just so.
And then there's that one DLC pack where you're going around killing all the
You
characters.
completely decanonize everything. You kill Obi-Wan. You turn Luke evil. You kill Leia and Han. It's
And
like
Chewie
and
in the same fight.
in this. Okay, well, see,
It's all
what?
fan
You
service.
kill everyone.
You
kill everyone.
and you kill Boba Fett.
Right, and my point
Basically,
being,
Starkiller kills the Star Wars universe.
That's perfect.
the reason they do this is to get you sort of like that fanboy. Oh, I remember that scene. Oh, let's see how we can screw it up. So
Well, they do that pretty well. I love the one they do with Boba Fett, where it's like he's shooting a missile at you, and you stop the missile midair. You just throw it right back at him.
Yeah.
the point being that Starkiller's deliberately exaggerated to give you an over-the-top sort of superhero feeling of the Star Wars universe, and that is simply uncomparable. You have to tone him down to a realistic sense if you're going to compare him against other real characters that aren't like stupid wuss bags for
Now, you see,
fan service.
for this fight between Malak and Starkiller, you could look at different possibilities besides just force powers. You could look at the fact where Starkiller was never very bright, was he?
No, he wasn't. He was
He's never very bright. He was
He was
never.
challenged with human emotion.
We see with Malak, he plotted the demise of his master for many years, and it would have succeeded if not for Bastila being like, we should use him. He essentially, and very essentially, did kill Revan, Darth Revan, the Almighty. What you get with Starkiller, it's just he could never.
Uncanon killings.
Starkiller could never hatch a plan or a mindset that would put him in a position where he would even think of overthrowing Vader.
He relied on a drunk for his ideas.
The thing about
That's
the thing
pretty
about
bad.
Malak is that he's sort of Vader meets the Emperor. He's a combination of the warrior and the mastermind. So he's never like supposed to be as good as Revan, but he really gives Revan quite the challenge.
You know how many times he kicked my ass in that last boss fight? I must have reloaded that save point like a bajillion fucking times.
He was so creative. He used like Jedi Knights' bodies that were still preserved beyond death in order to enhance his own power.
That was fucking awesome.
So if you're gonna like say Starkiller, like use ripping a Star Destroyer out of this guy, you got to give Malak the ability to be creative and drain other people's force powers for his own.
Or what Malak would do, he'd figure out what planet Starkiller's on, and just have like all of his ships, just like fucking nuke
see
it.
that
Like
one
they did
right
with
there? That one with that guy about to throw that ship at us? Blow that
Just
up!
level the entire planet. That's what he would do.
He did that with Terrace.
He did do that with Terrace. He did that with Terrace, just trying to get Revan.
With Bastila, actually. That's
Exactly.
what he was going after.
We've
I
seen-
feel like we're making our characters God mode.
Well, we're not.
See,
We-
Malak used an armada of ships to level a planet to try and kill one person.
I think if you dumb down Starkiller's powers to realistic levels, then he doesn't have as much smarts, and I think he'd lose in that sort of format.
And
Maybe a
well,
one-on-one duel. I don't know. It's
even in
close.
terms of power, you can't deny that Malak was an incredibly gifted Force user at the time. He could essentially use physical embodiment of others to benefit himself.
Hmm. And
You know.
no one aside from like Nihilus and maybe Vitiate, of course Vitiate, has ever been seen doing that as far as like these sort of characters go.
But yeah, I don't know. I think in terms of lightsaber combat, it would be close. I'll give Starkiller that, I guess.
Yeah, I think they'd be like a close in
But
a
even
dueling sort of format.
even then, Malak is like a prestigious lightsaber duelist who exploits the weaknesses and recklessness of his opponents. Whereas with Starkiller, it's like an exact copy of Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber dueling.
Come to think
Just
of it,
faster.
when
double
does
lightsabers.
Starkiller like ever do anything special with his lightsaber? He's always like
It's the
he's
Force Unleashed, not the lightsaber unleashed, is it?
right. He just like uses that for batting some guys like a baseball bat.
So I think in terms
Just
of
he kicked the crap out
it
of
would
him.
be almost mirroring a Count Dooku versus Anakin battle.
That's true.
You know, Malak would just be like toying with him throughout most of it, yet would ultimately fuck him really hard with lightning or some other force ability.
Right.
He would exploit the weaknesses of the weak and
I'd
use
say
them
it's-
against them. You know.
This is probably the closest battle we've talked about.
But the others, there's no competition.
Hmm.
You know, Malgus.
I'd probably still go with Malak. And
Me too. Yeah,
That's what we're going to be going with.
he
for
would
this.
nuke. He would just nuke a planet to find him. That would be it. He'd nuke.
Yeah,
that's how he would fight back. That's he just nuke the planet.
Because if Starkiller gets all of his super abilities, then Malak gets the Star Forge, and really, what else do you
He
need?
didn't
at
even
that
use the Star Forge to level Terrace, did he?
point? No.
He
He
used
just
his
used some
own
ships.
fleet. Jesus, what a fucking douche. He didn't even pull his own dudes off the planet first. He was just like,
No.
Just wipe the fuckers off the face of everything.
It's so cool when you get to see him and the. I'm gonna stop.
Okay, so what are we going to talk about next time? Well, let's open the doors for more
Okay.
criticism from the audience.
Next time, let's not do tour characters.
Next time, we're going to talk about our favorites and non-favorites canonizing.
Yeah, because there's been so much like disturbance in the Star Wars universe these
So
days.
we're going to talk about
As if 1,000 EU and whatever cannons were suddenly
fucked
screamed out in terror and then
Oh.
were suddenly silenced.
and then fucked up the
And
ass with a baseball bat and Lucas's name on it, or whoever's running Star Wars universe, Disney's name on it. There you go.
And for that lovely mental image, we're going to wrap this up.
Be sure to subscribe to our Facebook, like our YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. I got that right.
Unfollow us?
I don't think I said that, but okay.
You really didn't.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, go like our no, wait.
Ta-da!